Sheesh, look at all these studios. Are you nervous? Pixar, relax. We've been here thousands of times. We'll get this property, I guarantee it. Disney, we're talking about the Super Mario franchise here. You have no idea how much we need this right now. Think about the money we'll get on opening day. We can finally hit 1 billion again. It's been years. I'm well aware of our recent struggles, Pixar. Don't worry about it. I mean, at least my Lightyear movie got around the 200 million mark. Strange World barely made any money. I know how much I made, Pixar. Well, I'd say it was much more of how much you lost. You didn't really make any profit. I see your point. I know, in the animation department, we have not been doing good that much. I've noticed a slight decline in terms of quality and money. Our competitors, for some reason, just randomly decided to have a renaissance for animation without us. But that's fine. Once we get this IP, we'll be able to start the Mario Cinematic Universe. And we'll be back on our feet. Back on top. I'm pretty sure our legacy will far outweigh the influence over our recent mediocrity.
And now, to present the coveted Mario Award, please welcome on stage, beaniiebrian.
Good evening. For this final award, this will be given to the studio Nintendo handpicked themselves to develop and create the first ever animated Super Mario Bros. Movie. And we're honored to be at the presence of amazing studios such as yourselves. But only one gets the franchise. And the Mario goes to Illumination. Hi guys! Look, I made a minion. Again! Out of a potato! Oh dear lord. Oh! Disney! Somebody help! Somebody call an ambulance! Call 911! He's down! Disney, wake up! Disney! Honestly, I don't even know why they expected us to give it to them. I mean, Universal bought the theme park rights from us, so it makes sense to give them the movie rights as well. So, don't go to the light. We can still try. We still have Toy Story 5. So I just watched the Super Mario Bros. Movie and I thought it was... The Sing movies aren't that bad. The movie's fine. Both movies are fine. This is like the second time I'm talking about an Illumination movie, and in both times I'm actually giving it a pass. Illumination. It's harmless. It's not really that good. It's not really that bad. It's just... 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. 6 out of 10. I thought it was good. Yeah, I've reviewed like 3 Illumination movies now, and I've pretty much given all of them a pass just because I understand their demographic, but not in this movie's case. As a lot of people know, Mario's been around for a long time, so that demographic is definitely not in just the younger aspect, especially on Illumination standards. But in hindsight, it actually makes sense. Nintendo wants money, Illumination makes money, and they're good at it. And I gotta say, Illumination pretty much did an amazing job on this one. The animation is amazing, the character's design is spot on, jokes are hit and miss, but most of the time they hit, and you gotta admit, the marketing done for this movie was near perfect. So in general knowledge, I actually really like this movie. However, I do gotta say though, this movie's existence kinda pissed me off. Not because I had a problem with the movie, no, not like that. It's more in the line of that I kinda got pissed because people were being fucking annoying. Right from the get-go, people were praying for this movie's downfall. It was funny at first when they first announced the casting. Haha, Chris Pratt, haha, Jack Black, haha, Seth Rogen. Yeah, we've all seen it, no big deal. It was a meme for a while, moving on. But the hate just kept coming. Not even a trailer was out and people were already trying to rip it to shreds. And it was bar none one of the most stupidest shit I've ever come to experience. It's like both Illumination haters and Nintendo fanboys saw this and decided to do that Dragon Ball bullshit and fuse their hate into this one measly thing. It's fucking crazy. There was this one case where people were clowning on Chris Pratt for mentioning that he was stomping on Koopas in a Mario arcade game, and I guess someone pointed out that in that version you couldn't do that, so people dogpiled profiled this dude and started calling him a fake fan and a fraud. Well, okay then, Koopa Troopa Fact Checker 9000, fuck you! There's like a billion Mario games out there, and you'd think everyone would have that fun fact planted right under their general knowledge? And by the way, it's a Mario movie, guys. It's not a biopic of a fallen hero who died in a war. It's about a guy who saves a princess from a giant turtle and is friends with a talking gorilla named Donkey. I think we can gloss over Chris Pratt not entirely knowing the history of the fucking Mushroom Kingdom. And it gradually got worse too. The teaser came out and it looked great. Yet people were pissed that Chris Pratt doesn't sound like Mario and he's just using his normal voice when Charlie Day is doing the exact same thing with Luigi, but no one bats a fucking eye. Then another trailer came out and that was amazing. But of course, people were pissed. For what reason? Well, yet again, for Chris Pratt, get this, wahoo, for saying wahoo wrong. They're mad because he said wahoo wrong. You're angry because he said wahoo wrong? He said wahoo wrong. Do you even hear yourself at times? How do you look in the mirror and be proud knowing that was a problem that genuinely bothered you? You know how aggravating it was being a Last Airbender fan that we had to watch the entirety of the live action movie and see Shyamalan let these characters butcher all these names wrong and we had to sit there and take it like a bunch of fucking morons? But no, here we are. We gotta hate on the movie now because in the 2-minute trailer, Chris Pratt said wahoo wrong. Okay. I kind of went on a tangent there, but you get the gist. Well, anyways, I thought the movie was good. Well, anyways, so what is the Super Mario Brothers movie? Released early of 2023, the Super Mario Brothers movie is considered to be both an audience and box office hit. Never mind the critic scores, we don't talk about that. Spearheaded by Nintendo themselves, this movie was everything but a flop, earning over $1 billion on a $100 million budget. I'm not very good at math, but that sounds like profit. So, as any normal 25-year-old adult man with a full-time job would do, I went to see it in theaters all by myself. This is what I do in my free time, folks. Take it in. So, as per usual, I have a few thoughts about this movie. Is this movie really as good as the general audience says it is? Or did it simply deserve a 59%? Oh, so close! Well, let's take a look. This is the Super Mario Brothers movie. The movie starts off introducing us to the main villain, Bowser. And immediately, you notice something different about this Illumination movie. The animation looks amazing. You can pretty much tell where all the Nintendo money went towards. And I'm not kidding. Just look at the details they added in here. From the opening shot alone, you wouldn't believe you were watching an Illumination movie. Like, this is the same studio that gave you this design for their main character at one point. One notable thing you'll first notice is the skin texture they added to Bowser and the Koopas. They could have easily given them their plain design like what they usually look like in the video games, but they actually went above and beyond and gave them distinct reptile skin. And I like that. It's those small little details that tends to impress me the most sometimes. And of course, the other characters look fantastic as well, but I just wanted to point out Bowser's detail. Back to the movie, we see Bowser and his henchmen visit and burn down the Snow Kingdom.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
And here we see Bowser finally get to steal the Super Star, an item that grants you the ability to be invincible. And I really like this detail. The star in the Mario games is already pretty rare, and when you do grab one, it's basically a shot of adrenaline that makes you beeline to the finish line as quickly as possible. It's pretty much meant to be an overpowered item, so it makes sense that a villain like Bowser would want to grab a hold of it. And to make it interesting, later in the movie, they actually reveal that the main reason he wants a star is simply to impress Princess Peach, which is a hilarious concept all on its own. It adds likability to the character of Bowser. Not that he needed it, he's already a wildly beloved character by the fans anyway, so... On to the next scene, we're transported to Brooklyn, New York, where we meet our main character, Mario. And Luigi. Oh, hi Luigi. Voiced by Chris Pratt and Charlie Day.
It's me, Mario.
And the Luigi! Can it be? Is it true? They're doing the accent? So you mean to tell me that the hate and discourse the internet had over an accent in the movie that wasn't even released yet was fucking dumb? Yes, you fucking idiot. Literally, giving a side note here, people were pissed at Chris Pratt for this scene in a trailer.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
What's so wrong about that? Well, apparently Chris Pratt didn't do the accent right, which gave them the concern that the casting was terrible, that it was going to ruin the movie, that the voices won't match, and it'll be distracting. Well, here's my thoughts. The voice acting is fine, guys. They're not great, but they're also not that bad. They're fine. Apart from Keegan-Michael Key as Toad and Jack Black as Bowser, who, for me, knocked it out of the ballpark, the rest were just fine. And I don't get how, in multiple reviews I've seen about this movie, everyone seems to find a way to sneak a jab onto Chris Pratt for being the weakest performer, and honestly, I just don't see it. He was fine, guys, okay? Just because you hate the guy doesn't mean you have to hate his performance too. If anything, I thought he did way better than Charlie Day, in my opinion. If you want to talk about bad performances, did you not hear Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong?
The greatest army in the world!
Oh, good lord, can we get another take? So, yeah, the voice acting is fine. Chris Pratt is fine. So can we just move on and just accept that you guys jumped on the hate train way too early? Okay, alright, cool.
What about the accents? Is it too much?
Too much? It's perfect! Wahoo!
Okay, I'm gonna trust you.
Oh, fun fact, that guy right there was actually voiced by none other than ᵒᵦᵈ, the original voice actor of Mario. Well, anyways, back to the movie. We find out that the brothers are in the middle of starting up their very own plumbing company. After a few debacles, it's proven that it's gonna be quite the uphill climb. Hey, would you look at that? It's the first level of the first Super Mario Brothers game. So yeah, they actually fuck up the job for their first ever client, but let's be honest here, that wasn't really their fault to begin with. And it turns out that even their family has little to no faith in them and their new venture.
You don't leave a steady job for some crazy dream. And the worst part, you're bringing your brother down with you.
Now, here's the thing that kinda bothered me all throughout the movie. They established pretty early on how close Mario and Luigi are, which sets up a solid brotherly love dynamic between the two. So with that, you'd assume that the movie would focus on this a lot. But that's the problem. It doesn't. Because later in the movie, they discover a pipe that serves as a portal to another world and they get split up. Don't worry, this makes perfect sense. And they're basically separated the entire movie, which kinda sucks. Not that the Mario Peach Toad team up isn't good either. I love the trio, but the first 15 minutes set up the brothers' relationship and character arc so well that it's kind of a bummer that it just stops and comes right back. An hour and 20 minutes later. Jesus Christ, was Luigi that useless the entire time? But as far as character setups go, I gotta admit, this movie does a pretty good job planting subtle seeds that pay off in the end. Kinda. They set up Mario not knowing when to quit as a bad thing, but gradually becomes a good trait. Luigi being scared and overcoming it, the scene with the mirror, the feeling small bit with the mushrooms. They do a lot of these things throughout the movie, and it's nice to see Illumination being detailed-oriented in their movies for once. Remember when they forgot Gru and Vector weren't supposed to be the same age? Or how they completely retconned the Minions meeting Gru for the first time? This is a milestone for some of us. Remember this day. Well, anyways, as I said, Mario and Luigi find a portal that transports them to a new world. Unfortunately, they get split up with Mario landing on the Mushroom Kingdom. Holy shit, that looks amazing! And Luigi to the Darklands. Well, bye Luigi. We also get to meet another main character, Toad. And usually this is the time where I'd say that Mario would assemble a ragtag team and spend the rest of the movie trying to find his brother Luigi. Which, technically he does. Technically. Because that storyline kinda gets shoved at the back when we meet Princess Peach. Turns out, the Mushroom Kingdom is well aware of Bowser obtaining the Superstar. And knowing that their kingdom would be the first place he'd strike, Princess Peach would set off to the Jungle Kingdom to convince the Kongs and their army to help them stop the invasion. But before they proceed with their journey, Mario has to prove to Peach that he's capable of taking care of himself and worthy enough to accompany her in her quest. And this part is kinda funny to me, but not in the sense of what the movie was intending. In context, Peach sends Mario Mario to a few runs at her obstacle course. We get a few montages of Mario failing, but gradually overcomes it as time goes on. Mario goes on multiple runs in the obstacle course, and yeah, sure, it's fun and all. But the thing here is, they end up doing this the entire night, completely brushing off that 1, you still have no idea where your brother is, 2, no idea if he's alive or not, and 3, Bowser is fucking coming to destroy the kingdom. What the fuck are we doing?
Worse than you.
Okay, now you're just trying to make me feel better.
Is it working?
A little bit, yeah.
Mario, your brother is still missing, by the way.
Don't worry, I will protect you.
Well, that settles it. You're coming with us.
Bitch! I had to go through all that shit in the obstacle course just to join, but this dude gets a personal invite. And so, with Toad joining along, our heroes venture off to the unknown, seeing and encountering unique and amazing spectacles within the brand new world. Now, considering that the Mario games are basically about the journey ahead and more than the destination, it makes perfect sense for the movie to do the exact same, right? Solving puzzles, dealing with enemies in different levels, dodging obstacles. Never mind, we're here. Fuck me, I guess. I know they have a story to tell and all, but it kinda bummed me out that the movie doesn't really focus on the journey as much as it should have. This is a Super Mario Brothers movie. A movie based off a video game where we spend 95% of the time jumping world to world. So to see them get from point A to point B almost immediately is kinda disappointing. Yeah, sure, we get the montages here and there, but that's just what they are. Montages. It would have been nice to see an extended scene with one of the montages, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. But apart from the montages, they do have this one scene where they slow down from the chaos and just talk, which somehow felt really nice. They basically just give a brief backstory for Peach and all, and that's about it.
Maybe you're from my world.
There's a huge universe out there with a lot of galaxies.
So there's no way I'm associated with that garbage fire called Earth.
So they make it to the Jungle Kingdom in the hopes of convincing the Kongs to team up against Bowser. Speaking of Bowser,
Peaches, 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 peaches.
I have no idea what's happening right now, and I don't know if I can support it. 54 million views? Are you kidding me? Bowser would get intel that Mario is on his way and is being trained and accompanied by Princess Peach.
Oh, hi, Luigi.
This would anger him more, leading to a manhunt. Back to the Jungle Kingdom, the two parties would come to agreement and work together, but only under the condition that Mario would beat Cranky Kong's son, Donkey Kong. I like how they made the battle arena like the 80s Donkey Kong arcade game with the red steel and ladders and everything. It's a nice tribute to the early days. I like it a lot. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, he'd be dead. Well, anyways, Mario would miraculously defeat Donkey Kong by turning into a furry for a quick minute. And so, the Kong army is set to join the Mushroom Kingdom. With time running out, luckily, Cranky Kong knows a shortcut that can get them right back to the Mushroom Kingdom before Bowser. Bowser, however, gets intel again that Mario and the Kong army are on their way to the Mushroom Kingdom.
They are heading toward their secret passage.
You know, we shouldn't really be calling it a secret passage when literally even the bad guys know what it is and call it secret passage. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of it being a secret? Also, we get introduced to this dude an hour into the movie. Great pacing there, Illumination. Who is he? What's his role? Where did he come from? Where did he go? No one knows. But keep an eye out for him though, because he somehow becomes a big deal for the next 5 minutes. And so with that, Bowser and his army would ambush the Kong army instead. And we get a pretty awesome chase sequence with the carts on Rainbow Road. It's a pretty heavy nod to the Mario Kart games, and the execution is just great. The musical score is pretty tense, and the action and animation is just fluid. They do this long one-shot take, and yeah, sure, it's less impressive in animation form, but it's still pretty impressive. But I do want to point out this one thing though. So remember the dude that was introduced to us around 30 seconds ago? Yeah, he kinda just comes out of nowhere and becomes Mario's nemesis for like a solid minute. Right from the get-go, he had some serious beef with Mario. Like, he was just on his ass the entire run and he just did not back down. Bro had no backstory, no motivation, and no reason to be this hostile against a plumber from Brooklyn. It's hilarious.
Time to die, Mario!
Jesus Christ, my guy, relax. And I don't want to sound nitpicky here, even though I already am by default, but I personally think it would have been better if it was Bowser going senile towards Mario here and not this random Koopa. I mean, looking back at it now, Mario and Bowser don't really get to meet until the middle of the third act, and they don't really get to interact until the hour and 20-minute mark. 5 minutes before the end credits. This is Mario and Bowser we're talking about here. The iconic rivalry that lasted decades and shared upon generations. And we only get 5 minutes of them in the same scene? God damn it, Illumination. If you can make an entire franchise focus on the most unnecessary things, I think you could have done the same effort with these two. Back to the movie. Ultimately, the Koopa does get bested by the gang in the end, until...
Blue Shell!
Statistically, this isn't very accurate. In the Mario Kart games, when the blue shell is used, its only main goal is to hit the person in first place. It also has quite the blast radius that can also affect anyone near the main target. Considering that in this scene right here, DK's kart is clearly in second place, thus the blue shell should not have locked in on Mario and DK, but instead should have targeted Princess Peach. The writers clearly didn't do their research on this one. This is a disgrace to the game and a disgrace to the franchise. 2 out of 10. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and be annoying about the new Spider-Man movie. Why is Peter B. Parker carrying a baby? With Mario and DK presumed dead and the Kong army in prison, it's now all up to Toad and Princess Peach to stand their ground and save the Mushroom King, or they immediately get kidnapped. Okay, technically, it doesn't really fall like that. To save the Toads in the Mushroom Kingdom, the princess would have to agree to marry Bowser, thus them boarding his ship. Is that a ship or is it an island? I mean, technically it's a floating island, so do I call it a floating island? But it's still a ship. Do I have to call it a ship? Cut to the next scene, and shocker, turns out DK and Mario from the movie called Super Mario Brothers is alive! And they find themselves stuck inside the belly of a giant sea monster. You're giving me Pinocchio flashbacks, guys. Come on, we gotta move fast. This scene is kinda weird because they kinda start to bond over their self-doubts. They talk about how their father thinks they're a failure and a joke, and it kinda starts to get pretty sentimental, like we're about to witness a breakthrough between two rivals. Until it doesn't. Yeah, DK kinda just shuts it down and makes a 180 and completely denies the moment, completely ruining the scene. I'm pretty sure it's the movie trying to subvert expectations and Illumination just being self-aware, but for the detriment of a good emotional scene, I don't know about that. But either way, I think it wouldn't really matter that much because in a whopping 55 seconds, they make it out of the beast and they fly themselves towards the Mushroom Kingdom. Some moments just come and go for you, huh, Illumination? Well, anyways, at this point, it's pretty much all action. Pretty good action, might I add. Peach impressively saves herself and the prisoners. Oh, hi, Luigi. Mario and DK has this really good fight sequence as well. Luigi is finally saved and reunited with his brother, and everything seems to be wrapping up pretty nicely. Until we get teleported back to Brooklyn. And this is where shit really hits the fan. Yeah, Mario kinda outsmarts the bullet bill into going down the pipe where the Mario Brothers initially fell from, and get this, the explosion forces the pipe to teleport Bowser's entire ship onto New York. I feel like this was a nod to the live-action movie, but I'm pretty sure that thing didn't deserve a nod in the first place, so I have no idea what's happening right now. And now, finally, we get one big final fight between Bowser and Mario. Where's Luigi? Ah, in the trash, where he belongs.
You ruined my wedding! I was finally gonna be happy!
Wait a minute. Bowser? He didn't ruin shit. What do you mean? Princess Peach was the one who stopped the wedding. She punched the officiant. She's the one who smuggled the ice flower. Hell, you're the one who said you should just break up. Shit, you tried to kill her, my guy.
Then we are breaking up right now! You ruined my wedding!
Well, anyways, we all know what's about to happen. With a little pinch of brotherly motivation, he and Luigi would manage to grab the star and beat Bowser, saving both the Mushroom Kingdom and Brooklyn.
Nothing can hurt us as long as we're together.
Oh, wow. You know, this scene would have felt amazing and heartfelt if Luigi didn't have a total of 10 minutes of fucking screen time. But I do like how this one's pretty much the same as the scene in the bathroom earlier in the movie, though. That's nice. Bowser is defeated, the day is saved, nobody questions why there's a talking gorilla with a necktie and a man made of the mushroom just out of the open in the streets of Brooklyn. They all return back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and the Mario Brothers are finally heroes. What about the irreparable damage done to New York? Who cares? We got Yoshi in the sequel! Wahoo! Wahoo! And that was the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I gotta say, in the end of the day, it's pretty fun. The animation is amazing, the visuals are stunning, and the voice acting, though shaky at times, are still good. And I think you've all heard it by now, but the musical score is also top-notch. Another thing that the movie also did right was the use of references. Basically using references as an important plot device or simply hidden in the background. With an IP as gigantic as Super Mario Brothers, they could have easily gone the lazy route and just shoved fan service stuff up our faces. But props to Illumination, they did a fantastic job keeping it subtle yet respectful. Yeah, the story is pretty bland and by the numbers, and some characters don't really get to shine as much as they wanted to. There's some clear missed opportunities and some few questionable choices, but overall, it doesn't really ruin the experience. Hell, maybe that's the reason why Nintendo wanted Illumination for this project, because by the numbers is the safest bet. Nintendo wanted their money and they got it, so good job, I guess. So what do I think of all of this? Well, yes, it's another passable Illumination movie, but I'm actually more in the line of impressed with this one. So it's kinda unfair because it's way better than most Illumination movies. So with that, I'm giving the Super Mario Brothers movie a pretty good 7 out of 10. That's today's video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day and a great life, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!